everyone, welcome to Astrom Shah. So I've received a few emails telling me I've lost my job and to have a consultation about when I'll have a job. And we also have heard about many layoffs that started from October, around October, November, and December. And it's continuing even this year. Then we also have this chatgpt thing. I'm sure many people must have heard about that too. So are we looking forward for some revolutionary changes to come, or are we going to be replacing the human version of content? What's going to happen and why all these things are happening? Okay, that's what we are going to discuss today. Okay, so let's begin. And firstly, talking about the chat GPT, the AI, and a lot more things that are happening in the technology world. And everyone knows Rao is a single planet that's associated with futuristic technology. Anything that is big, anything that's revolutionary, like some people are even talking about it, that it may even compete Google, or it's even 10x better than it. I mean, whatever it is, but it's something that got the world talking about it, and it didn't happen before, so it is kind of something out of the box idea. Okay, so Rao is currently in the sign of Aries. Okay, let me just write it. Yeah, so now you can see here, this is not an ascendant. Okay, this is just the planetary currently transits that are going on. Okay, so Rahu is currently the sign of Aries. Okay, and as I said, Rahu is all about technology, out of the box thinking, and revolutionary. He wants to break things. He wants to have a big he wants to have breakthrough. He wants to make it big. He wants to get all the attention and fame. And he's also that high level intelligence guy, and he's also a visionary. But at the same time, he's also impulsive. He's superficial. He's not like Saturn. Okay, while Saturn takes into account everything, he's not he doesn't regret, or he's not uh, uh, he doesn't hesitate to work hard. Okay, to work long hours, whereas Rahu wants it very quickly. He doesn't want to work hard. Okay, and he also wants to get everything. Okay, that's the kind of significance of Rahu. Aries is also a sign of innovation, discovery, okay, and it's ruled by Mars. So it does signify technology and machines. Okay, Mars signifies technology and machines. Now, Rahu in Aries has been triggering point for this to come into existence. But it is only good if it is meaningful, it is useful. Like the current times, it said that is good and going to replace it, but that seems like a deception, because you can never replace human creativity, and it will basically mean killing the creative and human part of content, which is something not appreciable. Now we have Saturn, and that happened because, see, now we have Saturn aspecting it. Saturn transited the sign of Aquarius in January. So Saturn, from its third aspect, is looking at the sign of Aries. Yeah. Uh, Aries is a sign disliked by Saturn for its contradictory nature. We all know that Saturn is debilitated in the sign of Aries. Saturn doesn't like to rule. It wants to follow orders, it wants to do its tasks, and it wants to work long hours. Okay, that's the reason why we associate Saturn with job or service. Okay, so while ChatGPT is doing the rounds, but now people are kind of noticing the limitations, okay, the cons of it, and analyzing it from the practical application perspective. Saturn is time, Saturn is reality, Saturn is limitations. Okay, and there is really a push for plagiarism here, which is something that may kill the real purpose or efforts of many brains who work hard for content writing and creation. Saturn is also machines and technology. Okay, Saturn Rahu is like two contradictory energies coming together, influencing the technology. Okay, so your efforts and discipline to make it more meaningful and sustainable product is more important than the fame it is getting. Because see, Rahu is something temporary, okay, and it doesn't take into account everything, okay. Without Saturn, it's not going to stay long term or be practical enough. Like for example, if I have to say, Facebook was started in 2004, okay. Now I have taken this information from internet, so my analysis is based on that, okay. You can, figure out the accuracy of it, but that's what I have found. I'll analyze based on that. Now, when Rahu, okay, in 2004, Rahu Mars was in the sign of Aries, okay, and Jupiter did aspect it, but it didn't have the help from Saturn, okay. There was no aspect of Saturn or Saturn's influence on Rahu, okay, which resulted in it encountering problems after so many years. I mean, we all have known, okay, whatever the problems Facebook faced. So Saturn was also retrograde in the nakshatra of Ardra, okay, and Rahu in Bharni. So two of the very disruptive nakshatras, okay. So creating some disruption in the field. So we know that Facebook was like this big thing, like this, the go-to social network when it started, right? Then talking about Google. Google was born in 1998, okay, when Rahu influenced Saturn in the sign of Aries. A big revolution in the field of technology happened, right? Today, in current times, we can't even imagine, okay, without Google. It's so important, okay. And at that point of time, Saturn was in Ashwini Nakshatra and Rahu was in Magha Nakshatra. Ashwini Nakshatra is nakshatra of innovation. Magha Nakshatra is a nakshatra of ruling, governing, okay, being that, that it symbolizes like sitting on a throne or something like that, okay. So both the nakshatras are ruled by Ketu, okay. And like I'll talk about nakshatras in detail in future, but now this is something to do with that helps the people, okay. And something that is very minuscule, something very which is very microscopic, because Ketu is a very minute things, okay. It rules, it signifies the minute thing, the microscopic things, okay. So if this new thing, okay, that's going around, that's chat gpt, okay, if it is very that capable enough, and it has to be made more useful to the public, okay. Because with Saturn, okay, you need to serve someone, okay. You need to make it useful to the public, because Saturn is basically the praja, okay, the public, the common man, okay. So you have to do something which actually is useful to the public, then it's going to succeed and stay. Else it will just be like something viral overnight, and creating curiosity, name and fame, and but it's not very practical, not very useful, not very productive, not very meaningful thing, yeah. So this is how we analyze how this kind of revolution takes place and what it is. So I just want to do this because to make you understand how we analyze these things, okay. How to analyze if you're creating some project, okay, then how to analyze if this project is going to sustain, if this project is going to succeed, or whatever it is, okay. Then moving on to the layoffs part, talking about the job perspective, okay. Now I'm sure you must have heard of layoffs happening in and around October, November, and December of last year, and it's continuing this year as well. Now we have Saturn in Aquarius in January, it transited, but till November, we also have Ketu influencing Saturn, okay. So here from its fifth aspect, it influences Saturn, okay, in the sign of Aquarius. Ketu is trying to Saturn. Now what I'm talking about, what it is, okay. Now firstly, let's talk about the last year, okay. Last year also Saturn 10th aspect fell on Ketu, okay. So when Saturn was in Capricorn, and okay, let me just do this. So Saturn was in Capricorn, Okay, so its 10th aspect fold on Ketu in the sign of Libra. Okay, now Saturn is the planet of service. Okay, we associate Saturn mostly with job or service, like I said before, unless other placement that tells about business or other. Okay, Capricorn is the also the original 10th sign of career. Okay, Saturn and Ketu both are separative planets. If you have Ketu impacting the career houses, then it is more than likely you would have shifted many jobs. If you have Ketu impacting your education house, you will have more breaks in your education. One or more breaks in your education. Okay, while Ketu creates a break and separates, it's separative while creating a break, while creating a pause, Saturn removes you, okay, because you are either not fitting for the work you are doing, like not aligned with your karma, or you're taking it for granted, okay, like not working as much as you used to do, not paying attention or not being honest and disciplined, etc. Saturn's 10th aspect on Ketu in Libra worked as a filter for separating the wheat from the chaff. Why? Because we have Mars also impacting Taurus, the original sign of finance and economy. Okay, we have Mars in the sign of Taurus and it shifted from Taurus to Gemini. Okay, now initially it was in Gemini and then it transited the sign of Taurus. Okay, where it also went retrograde. Okay, adding on to the stress. So Saturn aspected Gemini where Mars was already placed, so impacting the technology sector, the IT sector, big time. Okay, now we have Saturn in Aquarius getting impacted by Ketu in Libra till November. Okay, now understand Ketu absorbs the quality of planets and signs. Okay, Saturn doesn't do that. Okay, Saturn has its own characteristics. Okay, it's not a shadow planet. Ketu's fifth aspect means what? Okay, see, I've made video on aspects. You can watch that for detailed insights. I link that in description. But in short, it means limitation, loss, and influence. Like wherever Saturn is placed, wherever Aquarius sign is placed in your chart, you will feel a kind of restriction. You'll feel a kind of detachment. You'll feel curiosity about it. Your decision or actions are influenced by that. Okay, so it is a very complicated aspect. Ketu will impact job unless you are upgrading yourself, doing something good for the society. Because Aquarius is co-ruled by Rahu, and Rahu is a preacher. Rahu Ketu are opposite. Okay, so Ketu is a learner. Okay, it wants to learn. So unless you keep learning, keep working behind the scenes honestly with discipline, this 2.5 years may be a bit troublesome for you with career, especially job. Okay, so if you want that sustenance in job, you need to upgrade yourself. You need to see with Ketu, it is important to meditate, introspect, and reflect. Ketu is like Mars, so it aspecting Saturn pushes you to work hard. Okay, but Ketu's nature is different than Mars. Okay, here again, see, Ketu is a bit spiritual in nature. Okay, and it is like going inward. Mars is not that. Okay, so for year with Ketu, your time and again you have to think, you have to reflect, you have to introspect if what I'm doing is aligned with my goals, with my dreams, or with my skills, or if I'm doing this, am I on the right path, am I enjoying what I'm doing, you know. So you have to ask that, or I'm just doing it for money. See, remember, Ketu and Saturn are not materialistic planet. Yes, Saturn as well is not materialistic planet. Saturn is karma faldata. Okay, Saturn is the this karma karka. Okay, but it is also not materialistic. It just asks you to do your work and leave the rest. It doesn't care about the money aspect. Okay, so it's going to be tricky if you are just greedy. Okay, if you just want money, if you are just aiming at attention and fame and success without working honestly towards it, without analyzing the pros and cons of it. Okay, superficial things or overnight success are highly discouraged by both the planets. Now we have Saturn, Ketu, Rahu, and Jupiter, four planets. Okay, the big four impacting work, technology, innovation, and individuality. Okay, signs of Aries, Aquarius, Libra, and Leo. So you will notice many innovations, many people who want the attention and fame, many people changing their careers, or experience change in their careers, change in the way they think, and of course revolution in technology is also happening. Reason being, all signs Aries, Aquarius, Libra, and Leo are signs that impact health, technology, relationships, creation, and governance or authority. They are materialistic signs. So to get hold of this, okay, you need to keep innovating. You need to keep upgrading yourself time and again. You need to be patient with what you do. At the same time, fearless while taking a risk. Do something good for the society. Okay. Now, risk is doesn't mean careless risk. Okay. Just you are quitting a job and you are thinking like, today I'm just quitting my job and tomorrow I'll do something, I'll start up of my own and I'll be successful. That's stupidity. Okay, that's completely nonsensical. Okay. You have to think everything, that whether this idea is sustainable, whether I have enough funds for emergency or something like that, and then you can move ahead with whatever you want to do. You just don't one day overnight you think and just quit your job. That's not sensible. So careful evaluated risk. Okay, take that. Think something unique and long term. Okay, do not think of anything short term, and by long term I mean especially if something you are doing, you can do it for 5 years. Okay, because Saturn is associated with long term. Okay, and it's not an overnight viral thing. Okay, so you have to be patient. Whatever work you do, Saturn will reward you, but if only you work honestly, you work dedicatedly, and you are also patient. Okay, while while expecting rewards. And you also need to be diplomatic in relationships and maintain that balance of give and take. Okay, and work on your self-esteem, but keep your ego at bay and focus on the creation aspect. Okay, just focus it said that karm kare ja, fal ki chinta mat kar. Yeah, Lord Krishna has said. So you need to understand this, do your karmas, okay, and leave the rest to the God. Okay, you don't need to think of the results. Okay, remembering these points will certainly help you sail through these 2.5 years if you are having problems in your career. Okay, because you need to understand that we have four big planets now, and they are impacting. So it's going to be, the impact is going to be profound. Okay, and especially if you're running one of the dasha, then you are bound to face some problems. Okay, so you need to understand that. Okay, so remember these points. Okay, try to reflect, introspect. With Ketu, you need to go within, you need to go inward. Okay, to ask questions regarding even your work life, regarding even your personal life. Okay, like what I'm doing, whether I'm doing it right, whether this is helping me, helping my soul. Okay, because Ketu is also the soul, it doesn't have mind. Okay, it thinks from the soul, from the heart. Okay, so do what your heart wants to do. Okay, but at the same time be careful and take a calculated risk. Okay, so yeah, this is how we analyze the chart, and how we understand it's not just a one planet one sign thing. Okay, we need to analyze the whole chart in synchronicity. Okay, so I hope this resonated with you. Let me know if you want me to do this for all ascendants, but I think I have covered everything here. Okay, so yeah, that was all for today. I hope you liked it. Do like, comment, share, and subscribe. Okay, for personal consultations you can just drop me an email given in the description below. Thank you for watching. Om Shanti.